Right, hello. I don't know how many times I've tried recording this video, and now the sun's coming out and blinding me. It's England, so I'm not going to complain about the sunshine. I've got a new to this channel piece of kit on here. This is the Novation K-Station. I've had this since about 2000. The power adapter for it broke a couple of years ago, and that was roughly when I started on the YouTube channel. So for that reason, it's not featured here before. It's a virtual analog synth. It's got a lovely sound. I really like it. And the plan is to integrate it into my setup here for playing techno and ambient music. The challenge for me is it's another piece of kit on top of the bits and pieces that I use now. And it's not USB compatible. It's older technology than that. But I've managed to get it MIDI synced. I can play it through the circuit, and one of the two synths from the circuit is muted, so the MIDI messages from synth 2 go into this thing to play it through here. It does some really cool sounds. Where I've managed to really get the benefit from it in the past, before the power adapter broke, was creating really weird kind of modular-like effects. So the synth itself has 3 digital oscillators. They have sine, triangle, saw, or square waveforms. There's pulse width modulation. The first 2 oscillators are linked. You can ring mod oscillators. There is also oscillator sync function. Oscillator 3 can be FM'd by oscillator 2, so you've got some frequency modulation in here, albeit it's buried in the menus a little bit. You've got delay, reverb, chorus, distortion, EQ, panning, and a vocoder, so there's pretty good effects on board. The filters are 12 decibel and 24 decibel slope, and there's this sort of branding thing or publicity thing that went with it as it was released originally. It calls it like liquid technology or something like that. I'm not sure whether that's due to the sound of the filters that I've actually managed to get some sort of filter modulation that sounded like water droplets and stuff like that. So maybe that was the reasoning for that naming. But there's that. There's 2 LFOs which you can sync or not sync. There's 3 envelopes. You've got modulation envelope, you've got a dedicated amp envelope, and there is also an envelope hidden in the menus again for frequency modulation. There's an arpeggiator. I think that's about it. It's got a mod wheel that you can assign to various things, a pitch bend wheel. It's not got a weighted keyboard or a pressure sensitive keyboard or aftertouch or anything like that, but for me that doesn't matter. I'm not a great keyboardist. I will just play a few sounds and you can get an idea of what it's like. I've got the oscillators, the LFOs synced, so I can't change the speed of them right now. So if I go to, so there's this menu system here. By default, it changes the program number by using these numerical buttons here. If I hit menus and then I go to LFOs, LFO 2 is synced. Let's turn sync off and do the same for LFO 1. That's off. So the LFOs go pretty fast. You can get them into audio rate. What else can we do? Yeah, so you can obviously detune the oscillators manually. So if I put, let's go to an init patch first of all. So we go program 100. Lovely sawtooth. And if I bring in oscillator 2, this is in mono mode. So again, I go to the menus. It wasn't in mono mode, I just had oscillator 1 turned down because of the patch. That's the problem when you've got a digital synth and it's kind of one knob per function, but then it's really, you've got patches saved. If you pull up a patch, obviously everything in the background reconfigures to whatever that patch requires, but your knobs and potentiometers don't. So that's something to get used to for this kind of kit. We've got portamento, which is kind of fun. And as I say, if I ring modulate oscillator 2 with oscillator 1, and then let's have a play with the filter. That sounds quite cool. Let's have a listen to the effects. So I think the delay is synced to the tempo at the minute. Let me check on that. Yes, it is. So that's why you've kind of got like some chopping. This is obviously all the digital processing. So it's not perfect. Let's unsync. There we go. So that's got rid of whatever crackling you might have heard. So my plan with this thing is to do a lot of practice and basically get more used to the idea of having a slightly larger playable keyboard, and then tie that in also with here. Perhaps create a few patches for like stabs that I could have sequenced on the circuit that fit in with the rest of the gear, but also create some patches that are really like ambient sound effects and things, and then create like loops on the loop station for backing. I'll try and give you an idea of what I'm thinking, but as I say, I haven't really practiced, so we'll see what we get here. Let's do... That's playing... That was lucky. I haven't practiced that. I just found a few patches that seemed to work at the time. So, sunshine in England. I don't know what's going on. Have a good one.